What if the destiny you are living right now is not being written by the big decisions you make, but by a single silent thought that you don't even notice? Take a moment and imagine. Beneath every action, beneath every word, beneath every plan you carry out, there is a subtle current running through your mind. That current is invisible, almost forgotten in your awareness, yet it is quietly shaping the timeline you are walking. This is not a matter of chance, nor is it simply about the goals you set. It is about the state of mind you unconsciously repeat, the frequency you hold when no one is watching. That is the hidden author of your reality. Science has shown us something extraordinary. In quantum physics, reality does not exist as a fixed thing until it is observed. The observer collapses infinite possibilities into one lived experience. That means what you look at, what you expect, and what you hold silently in thought becomes the version of reality that solidifies in front of you. This is not abstract theory. It is the very foundation of how your life is taking shape. You are not simply reacting to the world. You are directing the flow of possibilities into form. Now consider this. Most people believe that what drives their life are their loud thoughts, their spoken intentions, their conscious desires. But the truth is far deeper. The quiet, repetitive thought that runs beneath the surface, the one you almost forget is there, has more power over your destiny than the affirmations you say out loud. It is not the goals you write in a notebook that truly command your future. It is the invisible vibration of belief that you carry within yourself day after day. That is the true compass of your reality. Think of your mind as a vast field, much like the quantum field itself. On the surface, there are scattered movements, ideas, intentions, plans. But underneath, there are deep currents, patterns of thought that you rarely question. These deep currents act like gravitational forces, pulling your experiences, your relationships, and your opportunities into alignment with them. And because they are silent, because they run automatically, you often do not even realize that they are scripting your life. You think you are choosing freely, but in truth, you are moving along the rails laid down by these hidden frequencies. This is why so many people feel stuck, as if life keeps repeating itself. They change cities, change jobs, change relationships, yet the same struggles, the same frustrations, the same disappointments seem to reappear in different forms. Why? Because the external shifts are not enough. Until the silent thought inside changes, the frequency remains the same, and the same version of reality will collapse in front of you again and again. But here is the awakening. Once you recognize that these silent thoughts are not neutral, but living codes of creation, you step into a new level of power. You begin to see that you are not at the mercy of chance, nor are you a victim of past patterns. You are the observer, and with awareness, you can choose what you observe, what you amplify, and what you allow to crystallize into reality. Your destiny is not sealed. It is vibrating in a field of infinite options right now. And the key to changing it is not outside you. It is hidden in the silent thought that is pulsing inside your mind at this very moment. The invisible power of thought. You may have believed that thoughts are just passing clouds in the sky of your mind, harmless and without weight. But thoughts are not neutral. Every thought carries a frequency, a vibration that resonates with the quantum field around you. Whether you are aware of it or not, each repeated thought is like a signal you are broadcasting into the invisible. And just like a radio signal, it attracts experiences, circumstances, and people that vibrate at the same level. Quantum physics teaches us that reality is not fixed until it is observed. Before observation, everything exists as a wave of infinite possibilities. The moment observation happens, the wave collapses into a specific form. Now imagine, your thoughts act as the observers. They are constantly collapsing the wave of infinite outcomes into one lived version of reality. The more consistent a thought is, the more solid and unshakable that version of reality becomes. This means that every thought you return to, whether it is about abundance or lack, about hope or fear, about love or rejection, is not just floating in your head. It is silently carving the shape of your future. Your repeated thought is not only a mental event, it is a creative force. Think about this. When you wake up in the morning, what is the first thought that greets you? Is it one of possibility or one of heaviness? That very thought, even if unnoticed, sets the tone for the day. If you repeatedly think life is difficult, then without realizing it, you are broadcasting a frequency that invites difficulty to show itself again and again. If you silently believe, I am not enough, then situations will arise that reflect and confirm that belief. Not because the universe is cruel, but because your thought is the observer, and the observer decides what becomes real. The invisible power of thought lies not in a single passing idea, but in the loops you allow to continue. A single fearful thought may pass like a shadow and disappear. But when fear becomes the background music of your mind, it turns into a constant signal that the field cannot ignore. And then your external life becomes a mirror of that internal loop. This is why people sometimes feel trapped in repeating cycles. They change their actions, they push harder, they chase new opportunities, yet nothing seems to fundamentally change. Because the surface actions are swimming against the current of the deep thought that remains untouched. Until that current shifts, the river of life will keep flowing in the same direction. But here lies the great truth. The invisible power of thought can work for you just as much as it can work against you. The same principle that binds you to cycles of limitation can also lift you into cycles of expansion. When you choose to cultivate thoughts of clarity, peace, and possibility, not just once but repeatedly, you are programming a new frequency into the field. The quantum field does not discriminate between negative or positive. It only reflects the vibration that is most consistently observed. So the question becomes, what vibration are you consistently observing? What story are you silently telling yourself day after day? Because whether you know it or not, that story is collapsing the infinite waves into the concrete version of reality you live today. Your thoughts are not small. They are not invisible. They are the brushstrokes painting the canvas of your destiny. Once you understand this, you begin to hold your mind with reverence, knowing that every silent loop is a seed planted in the field of tomorrow. The silent code of destiny. It is not what you say you want that writes the story of your life. It is not even the goals you write down or the affirmations you repeat in front of the mirror. What truly writes the code of your destiny is what you silently believe when no one is watching. It is the identity you carry without effort, the unspoken conviction that runs beneath the surface of your mind. This is the silent code of destiny, the unconscious self-image that dictates how far you allow yourself to go, how much you allow yourself to receive, and what kind of life you unconsciously expect to live. And the most powerful truth is this: you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. The subconscious mind, often called the default mode of the brain, is like the software running in the background. While your conscious mind sets desires and dreams, the subconscious runs the program that determines whether those desires are accepted as possible or dismissed as impossible. If the silent identity you carry is, "I am limited, I am small, I am not worthy," then even if you consciously desire abundance, your destiny will bend toward limitation. The code does not care about your words. It responds to the silent vibration you embody. Think about it. How many times have you wanted something deeply, but deep down, you didn't believe it was truly yours? You repeated affirmations you visualized, but nothing seemed to shift. That is because the silent code, the identity behind the curtain, was stronger than the surface intention. The quantum field responds not to fleeting words, but to the dominant vibration of identity. And this identity is often shaped long before you become aware of it. Childhood experiences, repeated messages from family or society, emotional imprints of failure or rejection. These all write the early lines of your code. Over time, that code becomes so familiar that you stop questioning it. You begin to live inside it as if it were reality itself, forgetting that it was once written and therefore can be rewritten. The silent code of destiny is like a compass you don't realize you're holding. It points you towards certain experiences and away from others. And unless you become conscious of it, you will keep walking in circles, following the same direction again and again. That is why so many people live out the same patterns in relationships, careers, or finances. They are not cursed. They are simply running the same code without realizing it. But here is the revelation. The code is not fixed. Just like any program, it can be updated. When you bring awareness to the identity you've been carrying, you gain the power to shift it. You can write a new silent belief that aligns with the future you want to live. And once the identity changes, everything else begins to reconfigure. The field does not resist. It simply reflects. So you must ask yourself, what identity am I silently carrying right now? Do I see myself as someone who is always chasing, never arriving? Or as someone who is already worthy, already capable, already aligned with the reality I desire? The answer to that question reveals the code you are running and therefore the destiny you are living. The truth is, you cannot outperform your identity. You cannot live beyond the story you silently believe about yourself. But the moment you decide to rewrite that story, the moment you embody a new identity, you send a new signal into the quantum field. And when the field receives a new code, It collapses into a new destiny. Recognizing the mental loop. There is a reason your life often feels like it is repeating itself. Different faces, different circumstances, yet the same story keeps unfolding. This is not random. It is the mental loop, the invisible repetition of thoughts that drags yesterday into today and today into tomorrow. You see, most of the thoughts you think each day are not new. Neuroscience shows that up to 95% of your daily thoughts are recycled from the day before. That means you are not truly thinking, you are remembering. And those remembered thoughts create the same emotions, the same reactions, and therefore the same reality. This is why your future can look so much like your past, because your mind is rehearsing the past in a continuous loop. The silent code you carry writes the pattern, and your repeated thoughts reinforce it until it becomes a prison made of invisible walls. But here's the deeper truth. Every repeated thought is a command to the quantum field. When you dwell on fear, you are not simply entertaining a private emotion, you are instructing reality to show you more of what you fear. When you obsess over lack, you are not just feeling poor, you are collapsing reality into scarcity again and again. This is the observer effect at work. The act of observing with a certain expectation keeps collapsing the same possibility into existence. Think about the loops you may have already recognized, the same kind of relationships that leave you feeling unworthy, the same financial struggles that seem to return no matter how hard you work, the same self-sabotage whenever opportunity arrives. These are not coincidences. They are echoes of a mental loop that has not yet been broken. The loop is seductive because it feels familiar. Even suffering, when repeated long enough, feels safe to the brain. Your nervous system adapts to what is predictable, even if it is painful. So instead of choosing the unknown, you unconsciously return to the loop because at least it feels certain. But certainty is not the same as truth, and comfort is not the same as freedom. To break the loop, you must first recognize it, not judge it, not fight it, but see it clearly. Awareness is the first crack in the cycle. When you can watch a thought arise, I will never succeed. I am always abandoned. Nothing ever works out for me, and realize that it is not truth but repetition, you loosen its grip on your destiny. It is like waking up inside a dream. At first, the dream feels real. You react to it as if it were happening to you. But once you recognize, this is a dream, everything shifts. Suddenly, the same scene no longer has power over you. The loop is still there, but you are no longer trapped inside it. This is where true transformation begins. You cannot shift what you cannot see. But once you see the loop, once you identify the thought patterns that have been secretly writing your life, you hold the key to stepping beyond them. Ask yourself, what thoughts return to me again and again disguised as truth? What emotions always follow me, no matter the situation? These are the fingerprints of your mental loop. Recognizing them is not defeat, it is liberation. Because the moment you can see the pattern, you are no longer the pattern. You are the observer, and the observer always has the power to choose a new reality. The awakening, shifting the timeline. Awakening begins the moment you realize you are not a prisoner of your loops. You are the architect of your timelines. Your reality is not fixed. It is fluid, waiting for the frequency of your thoughts to tune it into shape. Imagine reality as a vast radio spectrum. Each station is already playing. Scarcity is on one station, abundance on another. Fear vibrates on one channel, love on another. The question is not whether the music exists, it always does. The question is, which station are you tuned into? You have been unconsciously tuned to the same channel for years, perhaps decades, because of the thoughts you repeat without awareness. That is why life feels so familiar, even when you crave change. But awakening is like grabbing the dial with full consciousness. It is the choice to move your inner vibration to a different frequency, to shift the timeline you are living in. This is not fantasy. Quantum physics reveals that reality is not a solid structure, but a field of infinite probabilities. Until you observe it, it exists as a wave of potential outcomes. The moment you observe with intention, the wave collapses, and one version becomes the reality you experience. If you keep observing with the same unconscious beliefs, the same version keeps collapsing. But the moment you awaken to the fact that you are the observer, you realize you can collapse a new possibility. How do you do this? Through conscious awareness and neural reprogramming, every thought is like a rehearsal. Each time you repeat a new pattern. I am worthy. I am already aligned with abundance. I am peace itself. You are rewiring the brain and giving the nervous system a new instruction. At first, it feels unnatural, like speaking a language you do not yet know. But with practice, the unfamiliar becomes familiar, and the new station becomes the one your system automatically tunes to. Think of it as shifting gears in a car. The engine is the same, the road is the same, but when you shift gears, the entire experience changes. Your life is the same, circumstances may not change instantly, but the gear of your perception shifts, and soon the external must align with the internal. This awakening is not about pretending. It is not about repeating affirmations you do not believe. It is about embodying the new frequency until it becomes your identity. You don't wish yourself into another timeline, you embody it into existence. The moment you feel the peace of the reality you desire, as if it were already here, you begin to live in that vibration. And because the quantum field mirrors your inner state, it reflects that vibration back to you as experience. Yes, there will be resistance. The old loop will try to pull you back, whispering its lies. Nothing has changed. This is who you are. Stay safe in the known. But every time you refuse to believe the lie, every time you remain in the new frequency, you weaken the old loop. And eventually, the old timeline collapses, and the new one takes its place. Awakening is not a single event. It is a daily choice. Each moment you decide which thought to nurture, which frequency to embody, which version of yourself to live as. And each choice shifts the timeline you walk. The power was never outside of you. It was always within, waiting for you to awaken. The quantum journey of identity. The secret that changes everything is this. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. The universe does not respond to your words. It responds to your state of being. You can say, I want abundance, 1,000 times. But if your inner identity is still tuned to scarcity, the field reflects scarcity back to you. If you say, I want love, but carry the vibration of unworthiness, you will attract situations that mirror that unworthiness. This is why the quantum journey is not about asking, wishing, or waiting. It is about becoming. Your future self already exists in the field. The version of you that is free, empowered, abundant, aligned. That version is not a dream. It is a reality, parallel to this one, vibrating at a frequency you can tune into. And the bridge to that future is identity. Identity is the silent code running in the background of your life. It is the collection of beliefs, stories, and emotions you hold as who I am. Most people never question this code. They live inside the same narrative. I am not enough. I am unlucky. I am trapped. And because they never update the code, the field keeps projecting the same outcomes. But the quantum journey invites you to step beyond that old code, to ask, who am I choosing to be today? Because the moment you redefine yourself, not based on the past, not based on old evidence, but based on the future you are aligning with, you shift the entire timeline of your existence. Imagine standing on a stage with countless doors behind you. Each door leads to a version of you. Some doors open to fear, others to abundance, others to peace, others to struggle. The choice of which door opens is not random. It is determined by the identity you embody in this moment. When you carry yourself as the future you who has already stepped into freedom, the door to that timeline unlocks. This is the heart of the journey, shifting from visualization to embodiment. Visualization is powerful. It paints the picture. But embodiment is what makes the picture real. You begin to think, feel, and act as if you are already the person living in that reality. And when you do, the quantum field no longer sees a separation between you and the reality you desire. It simply reflects what you are being. The shift may feel subtle at first. Maybe you start carrying yourself with more calm. Maybe you feel gratitude before the evidence appears. Maybe you speak differently, walk differently, breathe differently. But each small shift rewires the nervous system, reprograms the subconscious, and aligns your frequency with that future self. This is the essence of the quantum journey, collapsing the illusion of distance between where you are and where you want to be. When you awaken to your true identity, you realize that the future you long for is not in the future. It is here, waiting for you to embody it. So the question is not, will it happen? The question is, who are you willing to become today? Because the moment you step into the identity of your future self, the universe has no choice but to mirror it back. The inner expansion. Every transformation begins with expansion inside of you. Before reality bends, before circumstances shift, there is a silent unfolding within your consciousness. You cannot enter a new reality carrying the weight of old fear, old doubt, old limitation. Expansion is the process of making room for the new by dissolving what no longer belongs to you. Fear is the first barrier. It whispers, stay small, stay safe, don't step beyond what you know. But when you meet fear with serenity, it loses its power. Serenity is not passivity, it is mastery. It is the vibration that tells the field, I am not moved by appearances. I am aligned with what I know to be true. When you transmute fear into serenity, you become untouchable. This is not about fighting the darkness. Fighting only strengthens what you resist. Expansion happens when you shine light into the darkness. When you choose presence over panic, calm over chaos, trust over doubt. The field listens not to your words, but to the frequency of your being. And when that frequency is rooted in serenity, the entire code of your life begins to rewrite itself. Think of your mind as a lens. When it is clouded by anxiety, every possibility looks distorted. But when the lens is clear, when you expand into silence and presence, you see the infinite doors that were always waiting for you. Expansion gives you vision. It allows you to perceive not just what is in front of you, but what is possible for you. This is why stillness is so powerful. In silence, you hear the frequency beneath the noise. In stillness, you remember who you are beyond the stories. The world tells you to act, to push, to force, but the quantum field responds most powerfully when you align before you act. Expansion is the alignment that precedes manifestation. The deeper you expand inward, the more your outer reality shifts. You begin to notice synchronicities, small signs that reflect your new state of being. A conversation, an opportunity, a sudden idea. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations that the field is reorganizing itself around your expansion. But you must nurture it. Expansion is not a one-time event, it is a practice. Each day you are given a choice. Contract into fear or expand into faith. The more you choose expansion, the more you anchor the reality of your future self into the present. And here lies the paradox. Expansion does not come from seeking more, but from surrendering more. When you release the need to control, when you let go of the old stories, when you stop clinging to the past, space opens. And in that space, the infinite enters. The quantum field is a mirror of your spirit. It reflects not only your thoughts, but your state of being. When you expand into presence, into trust, into inner peace, you are no longer a fragment trying to survive. You are the field itself, expressing through human form. This is the invitation. Expand inward until the outer world can no longer bind you. Expand until fear becomes silence, until doubt becomes clarity, until limitation dissolves into possibility. And in that expansion, you will remember, you were never small. You were always infinite. You have walked through the hidden architecture of your mind. You have seen how a single thought, silent and unnoticed, can shape an entire destiny. You have discovered that reality is not written from the outside in, but from the inside out. Every pattern, every circumstance, every door that opens or remains closed has been echoing the frequency you carry within. But now, you are no longer blind to it. You know that what silently repeats in your mind is what silently repeats in your life. You know that the observer effect is not a theory, it is your daily experience. Every time you look at life with fear, you collapse fear into form. Every time you look at life with faith, you collapse possibility into reality. Your destiny is not waiting to be given to you. It is waiting to be chosen by you. Chosen through the frequency you hold, through the thoughts you allow, through the identity you embody. The universe is not a force outside of you. It is the reflection of who you decide to be now. And here is the truth. You are not trapped in any timeline. You are not doomed to repeat what has already been written. At every moment, you stand at the threshold of infinite possibilities. And the key that opens each door is not effort, not control, but alignment. When you align your inner state with the life you desire, the field cannot resist, it must mirror you. So take this with you. Your life is not being dictated by chance or fate or the will of others. It is being woven by the silent code of your own thoughts. Change the code, and you change the story. Awaken to who you are, and the world awakens with you. You are not small, fragile, or powerless. You are the very consciousness through which reality comes alive. You are the dreamer and the dream, the observer and the creator. And when you choose to embody this truth, the limitations that held you dissolve into nothing, because they were never real to begin with. Now breathe. Feel the expansion that has already begun within you. Know that you are stepping into the timeline where your true self is free, whole, and limitless. This is not something you will become, it is what you already are. The journey is not about reaching, but about remembering. So remember, awaken, align, and step into the destiny that was always yours. If this message resonated with you, subscribe now to stay connected with the energy that awakens you. Like this video to anchor this frequency in your field. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a transmission that your spirit needs. And comment below, I am the frequency. Let the universe hear your voice. You're not here by chance. You're here to rise and remember who you truly are.